In this video, we'll take a listen to each one of the Teletronix LA-2A models. We'll start off with the LA-2, which is the oldest model. And this one only features a compressor, not a limiter. So again, very easy to use with just increased peak reduction and gain makeup. Let's go ahead and listen to our piano without any processing. And let's play that again with the compressor on. Notice how it brings up the sustain of the piano and the room ambience up a little bit more in the mix. And then you also have the emphasis knob. So when this is fully clockwise, that means that the compressor is listening to all the frequencies. But if you turn this counterclockwise, then it's going to start ignoring some of the low frequencies. So in this case, let's increase the peak reduction. So as you can tell, the compressor is now listening more to the mid-range and not so much the low end. So let's increase the emphasis again and bring down the peak reduction. Okay, so let's turn off the LA-2 and now let's compare it to the LA-2A gray. And with the LA-2A gray, we have a compressor and limiter function. Again with the emphasis knob. So let's turn this all the way to the right so we get full spectrum of the frequency. And right away you can see that this needle jumping back is much faster than on the LA-2. Let's compare that again. So the recovery mode on the LA-2 is much slower. Let's go back to the LA-2A gray. And let's check out what the limiter sounds like. Let's bring down the emphasis. But you get less of the room ambience in there. So let's crank it up again. Okay, and lastly, let's listen to the LA-2A silver model. And this one also offers a compressor and limiter setting. But this one sounds slightly different than the gray model. Let's compare. So to me, the LA-2A gray sounds a little bit more colored, whereas the LA-2A silver sounds a little bit more transparent. So a cool trick to do is to simply run any audio source, whether that's vocal, drums, in this case piano, through all three compressors, and you'll be amazed at the results. But before we do that, let's just adjust the emphasis a little bit. Here we go, let's check it out. Let's listen to that last passage without the compressor. So this is the original piano recording. And now with the compressors. So it's pretty amazing that when you run these three compressors in serial, it immediately takes you back to like the 50s and 60s, where a lot of the guitars and vocals were compressed. And the reason being is that back in the day when you only had 4 tracks to record in, a lot of stuff was bounced from 3 tracks to 1 track. And a lot of times the music was being processed through a compressor multiple times. So it gave you this final end result that was just really squeezed and just sounded great. So I encourage you to take advantage of using these 3 plugins in series on a track. And my biggest tip is to use the emphasis. So vary it a little bit. Maybe on the top one, you might want to have, full spectrum compression. On the middle one, you might want to bring down the emphasis a little bit. On the last one, you might want to set it to limiter and bring down the emphasis completely and see what kind of results you get. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one.